Om Gama Ganeshaya Nama. My friends, we are talking about a very important day of our country, which is tomorrow, which is 9th of June 2024, when Shri Narendra Modi, for the third time, will be taking the Sapath as a Prime Minister of our country. Now, this is a very, very important thing because the entire nation, the entire strategy, the administration, and everything depends on the government and how the citizen, us, me, you, and everyone will be benefited or how the experience will be. Everything can be determined from this oath taking chart. The oath taking chart is basically to understand two things. One is how the king will perform. Here there is no king, so Mr. Narendra Modi will perform. And the second is how the country will be benefited out of it. So this is a chart which is as per the time which is there in the news. It's 7:15 your PM Sunday, which is tomorrow, and the Rashtrapati Bhavan, New Delhi. So as per the Panchang for any Mahurtam, before dwelling into that, just try to see the chart. As you see, this is a very strong chart as it has got very two strong Mahapurush yogas. We have the Shasha Yoga, which is a Pancha Mahapurusha Yoga. We have the Venus, which is Malavya Yoga. All the three benefits are aspecting the Lagna, making the Lagna very strong, and the Lagna Lord, who is also in their own house, which is Mars' own house. Now, this is a coalition government. So, in mundane astrology, Medini Jyotish, the fourth house is basically the house of opposition. The 10th house is the house of Simhasana, throne, the governance, the power, the authority. And the fourth house, the opposite to that, which is the opposition, where Saturn is there, forming a Shasha Yoga. And the seventh house is a partnership house, the partner whom you take with along with you in the government. In this case, it is the coalition government, the Nitish Kumar government and the Chandrababu Naidu's government. So we will, from this presentation, I will try to explain you what the chart says and how it is made. So let us go further. Now, the rule says that whichever chart you make for the oath taking ceremony, usually it is made as per the king, because the king has to rule very nicely. He should be properly governing the entire country. He should be in full charge, with full power, with full independence to act. So basically, everything is calculated based on the king's perspective. So for that, we need to understand Sri Narendra Modi's chart for tomorrow. So let's go there. So here we are with Sri Narendra Modi's chart. Now, the dasha currently which is in operation is of Mars Mahadasha. It is Mars Rahu going on, and after that Mars Jupiter will start. Now, thing is that for any Muhurtam, the uh, the entire calculation base is the moon, which is the Janma Nakshatra and the Janma this Rashi. So moon is in Scorpio Anuradha Nakshatra. So if you go to the tomorrow's time, what we see that if you focus in here, you will find we will just focus on moon, nothing else as of now. From Narendra Modi's perspective, we are trying to understand. As we focus, we see the moon is in Paramitra, which is very good. So the moon tomorrow will be very strong. Now coming to the chakras, why it is important. You see, for mundane astrology, taking an oath or sapat is normally done in the Abhisheka nakshatra, which is the one nakshatra which is behind the Janma nakshatra. Like in this case, as you see, Narendra Modi's this nakshatra is your just a moment. Just let me open Sri Narendra Modi's. Yeah, it is. I've just changed the transit. So just a minute. So as you see, Narendra Modi ji is actually moon is in Anuradha Nakshatra. So Abhisheka Nakshatra is the one. Now, first of all, we need to understand this chart is made for the king. So, how the chart is made for Narendra Modi, that we're trying to understand. As you see, Anuradha is a Saturn Nakshatra. The one which is before is Vishakha. So, Jupiter Nakshatra. That means for any Narendra Modi's oath-taking chart, the chart for Abhisheka, if you take an oath, as per the Shastra, if you take an oath in the Abhisheka Nakshatra, you're going to form a very good, stable government. So, that is a mundane application. Now, coming back, so here from here we have found that basically is the Tara Balam is Param Mitra, which is very good, and it is Abhisheka Nakshatra, which is perfectly for the oath taking ceremony. Now, you see this particular chart now. Now we see Moon is basically in Punarvasu. Punarvasu is a Jupiter Nakshatra, which is Narendra Modi's Abhisheka Nakshatra. The triad of Abhisheka Nakshatra, all the Jupiter Nakshatra falls in the Paramitra category of Narendra Modi. So doing the particular, this particular oath taking in this particular nakshatra, it is somehow considering the Paramitra or the Abhisheka Nakshatra for the purpose. Although it is a 27 nakshatra, but it's saying that the 27 Jupiter, so it's not the like Vishaka Nakshatra, but at least the Jupiter Nakshatra, which is required for the oath taking ceremony. The Lagna rising is Shirshodaya sign, which is always considered to be good, and it's a fixed sign. So fixed signs are always considered for oath taking ceremonies. All the three benefics are aspecting the Lagna. So as we know that the seventh house is a coalition and the fourth house is basically the opposition. We also see that the fourth house has a strong opposition, which is Saturn. So that means the government, which is very strong because it is forming a Lagnadi yoga, whereas all the benefics are aspecting the Lagna. If benefics are there in 6, 7, 8 from the Lagna, it creates a Lagnadi yoga. It makes a Lagna strong. So it gives a foundation which is very strong. Here all the three benefics are in the seventh house, but it is aspecting the Lagna, making the Lagna very strong. The Sun, who is the 10th Lord, which represents the Simhasana, which represents the throne, is also present here and aspecting the Lagna. This makes the Lagna very strong. And the Lagna Lord, who is Mars, is also very strong in his own house. It also means that the sixth house, sixth Lord, which happens to be Mars also, is also strong. So that means the opposition is definitely going to be very strong for the next 5 years. Although the chart foundation is very strong, but like Narendra Modi's ji, his opposition will also be very, very strong. Now, the Panchang which is made for this chart is basically Panchang are the 5 limbs. So the 5 limbs which are made, the Varish is Sun. Sun is the Varish, and the Tithi is basically Chaturthi, and the Nakshatra is Punarvasu, and the Yoga is Dhruva. Dhruva means like, fixed, whatever decided, fixed, it will happen. Like, Dvira actually. And Karana is Vanija. Transaction. Vanija is businessman, transactional. Now here I have got 2 observations. The first observation is the usually for oath taking ceremony, the auspicious day like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are considered, even Monday also. Sun, although it's a government matter, but it is not. It is there are like several different views regarding to the day for the Sun. That is one observation. Secondly, the observation is the oath taking will happen at 7:15. The reason being, you see, for any oath-taking chart, majorly 4 components to be very strong. What are those strong things? The Lagna should be strong, the Lagna Lord should be strong, Sun and Moon should be strong, Mars should be strong. Because Mars is also like the shiner, the army general, the discipline, the control. So here we see Mars is strong because Mars is there in the own house. Lagna is strong because all the benefits are aspecting the Lagna. The Sun is strong because Sun is there in the Leo Amsha in Navamsha. So it's own Amsha. So if a planet goes to its own Amsha in Navamsha, it becomes very auspicious. And Moon is Vargottam. So that is good. That is good. But as we were talking about the Panchang, we found that the Tithi is Shukla Chaturthi. Now Chaturthi is basically Rikta Tithis. the five set of tithis, the fourth one, Rikta tithis, which are usually not considered for any auspicious thing. So this is also one observation. No Muhurtam can be perfect. So, these are the observation which we are seeing. Moreover, you see, although it is creating two Mahapurusha yogas, one is of Saturn, which is Shasha Yoga, and one is of Venus, which is Malavya Yoga. But you see, uh, you know, in the Kendra, if benefics are there, it doesn't give a result like a free flowing results. Especially if you see Jupiter, who actually gets the strength at the Lagna, it misses out its strength. It loses out its power when it is in the seventh house. It loses the Digbali actually. If Lagna is the Digbali of Jupiter in the seventh house, it actually loses out. Same with Mercury, it loses out. And Venus in the seventh house are not considered good. It's considered very bad. Venus in the seventh house, as well as Sun in the seventh house, is also not considered to be an idealistic situation. So in one way, we are seeing that it is strengthening the chart. It is strengthening the Lagna because all the Lagna, the yogas are forming and all the Shubha Drishtis are aspecting the Lagna. But in the other hand, we are seeing that all the benefits based in the Lagna are losing their beneficism, as well as they're losing the Digbali or the power of the positions. So that means the directional power will be there in the chart. Secondly, as you see, Moon is Vargottam, but Moon is having the Kendrum Yoga. There is no planet on the other side. Although Mars is aspecting Moon through the fourth aspect, it says that it cancel out, but when Moon is not with anyone, no balance on the other side, it is basically alone, lonely. So a lone soldier. So also, you see, when you do a prashna and you see all the benefits are in the seventh house, it is basically beneficial for the seventh lord, which is in this case, the coalition government. So that means tomorrow it is a possibility that some major department, major government department can roll out like education, health, these can roll out to the coalition team and they can take charge of that. It will be not easy as we see from moon, the Saturn is also on the eighth house. So the chart has a Ashtang Shani. Although moon is also strong, Shani is also strong. One more observation, the Lagna rising is Aquarius, which is basically not a friend to Mars. So these are the observation, but in a totality, this chart is a strong chart as we are seeing that the sun and the moon are strong and the Mars is strong and the Lagna is also strong. So there will be competition, there will be competitiveness, but and the competition and the allies, they will be also very demanding as Sun and Venus are there. They will be also very demanding and the opposition will be also like an Ashtang Shani. So they will be very tough to handle. But Sri Narendra Modi ji will be also very strong because Mars is there in the sixth house of enemy and service. So he will be there and also aspecting the Lagna from the sixth house. So he will be fighting. And since it is a Kendrum Yoga, so many of his journey will be a lonesome journey. He may not get the ministerial help like what he is expecting because the opposition and the coalition can create this type of environment where he needs to be very, very active and very, very fighting this diplomacy and diplomatic connoisseur for the next 5 years. So that we see from the chart which is coming out. But it is extremely from the other end, all the good points are there. If you want to find negatives, you will always have negative because no Muhurtam can be perfectly okay. It's very, very hard to get a perfect okay Muhurtam for everything. One more thing, you see the Venus, if you categorically see the Venus, which is like aspecting the 7,000, Venus is the coalition government representative, creating the Malavya Yoga. So the coalition here creating the Malavya Yoga, that means the coalition will get a high benefit. They will take away major ministry from the government. But Venus is combusted. Venus is combusted. So the coalition government is also combusted. So the actual support, how much they will provide, although Jupiter is there, and Jupiter is strong in the Navamsha as well. So Jupiter is there, it might be protecting the entire thing. but it doesn't seem so uh, like easy in the coming years. But the chart is strong. Finally, the fifth house, which denotes the incumbent, the successor. So, who is next successor to Narendra Modi? Whoever is a successor to Sri Narendra Modi, it can be Yogi, Sri Yogi ji, it can be anyone, like whoever the the government thinks. There is Rahu based there, which is the fifth house of mantriship. So, in the ministry, there will be some kind of this Rahu afflictions, which is like, creating an illusion and uh, fifth house Rahu is not considered very good in terms of the chart, in terms of auspiciousness. Although the ninth lord is strong, but again, it is came from yoga. So overall, if you see the chart, it is a decent chart. It's a very strong chart. The foundation is very strong, and the next 5 years for India as well as for Narendra Modi seems to be a tough ground where he will also battle and he will also be very powerful. He will also very strong, but the his partners will be very demanding. They will be taking some major departments from him. Tomorrow we will come to know probably the Venus represent finance, Venus represent higher education, Mercury is education, and these kind of welfare. Jupiter is there, welfare departments, and so major departments of the government can goes to the some of the major departments definitely will go to the coalition department, and since it is combust, so the support structure will be in terms of something which we have to see in future. And Saturn is there in the fourth house of opposition. So the opposition will be extremely strong as it is creating the Ashtang Shani. So they will be very strong this 5 years. This JP government for the next 5 years have to fight because Mars is also in the sixth house fighting. So have to fight. So you can expect a very politically charged next 5 years in the country. So now we will try to understand this Simhasana chart, which will give you a further clarity. So this is Simhasana chart. This is Simhasana Chakra, which is basically from Narpati Jashariya Swaradaya. You can also read and understand the chart. So basically, you see there are 5 steps. The first one is Adhar, the second one is Ashan, third one is Patta, fourth one is Simha, and the last one is Simhasana. So the king actually goes step by step and sit above the top. So at this here, Simhasana Chakra. So basically, the all the nakshatras are divided, like the 27 nakshatras are divided in 3 parts. So from Ashwini to Ashlisha, the first 9 nakshatras goes to Ashwapati. This particular chakra is called Ashwapati. There are 3 groups. The first group is this one, which is Ashwapati. Now Ashwapati, the second group is basically Narapati. What is Narapati? The second set of 9 nakshatras from Magha to Jeshta. And the third set is Dhanish, the Gajapati, which is from Mula to Revati. Now, what I have done is I have actually distributed all this planet based on this Nadi. I will explain you the Nadi. You see, what we are seeing is that the Sun and the Venus has now going before that, also one more thing. Out of all the 5 nakshatras, what we have to do is we have to understand the nakshatra on which during which the coronation has taken place. So in this case, tomorrow at 7:15 it will be your this Punarvasu nakshatra, which is the Param Mitra nakshatra of Sri Narendra Modiji, and also the the triad of the Jupiter nakshatra, which is the Abhisheka nakshatra. So basically, we have to understand whichever the section, the 5 steps, the 5 steps, the Janma nakshatra falls, it will signify how the next 5 years can be. So here we see that the Simhasana, which is the topmost layer, it is only controlled by Mars. You see the Mrigasira, Chitra and Dhanishta. These are all Mars Nakshatra. So the Mars only control that. Then comes the Simha, the second layer. Simha is controlled by Moon and Rahu. You see Rohini, Adra, Hasta, Swati, Shravana and Shatabisha. Moon and Rahu control the fourth steps. The third step is Patta. Patta is controlled by Sun and Jupiter. This is the best section actually, the Patta. I will explain why. It is controlled by Sun and Jupiter, like Kritika, Uttar Falguni, Uttarashada. These color codes you follow, like Sun is red, so this is red. Okay, so Rahu is this color, so this color. Moon is white, so moon is white. Like that, I've mentioned. So Jupiter is yellow, Jupiter is yellow. So Jupiter and Sun controls the third layer. Fourth, or the second, the second step actually from the ground actually is called Ashan. So Ashan is controlled by your Venus and Saturn. As we see, Bharini, Pushya, Purva Falguni, Anuradha, Purva Shada, Uttara Bhadra. And the first step is basically Adhar. Adhar is basically by Mars and Mercury. So like that. So basically, sorry, this Ketu and Mercury. So that's the first step. Now what happens if the moon falls in these steps? What does it signify? In our case, moon has fallen in this particular Patta step, which is the Patta section. So as we see, if moon falls in the Patta section, it is the Punaravritti of the last governance. I have mentioned here, the king continues from where he left behind. We have to only focus on two planets here. In this particular Simhasana chart, we have to focus on two planets. One is moon for the overall performance, and one is Saturn for the problem statement. And also Jupiter, you can see, for the good things. I will try to explain you. See, moon has fallen in Patta. Now, what is Patta? If the moon falls in Patta, it is said that the king will continue from where he has left behind. And he continues like before. Punaravritti of the same government. So whatever the chart is suggesting, whatever Narendra Modi has done for the last 5 years, he will try to take action in the same line. He will continue from where he has left. That is the significance of this particular placement. Now, if moon was in Adhar, what could have happened? The king will be governing under someone else's control. So Adhar, if it was Adhar, then he would have been under some control to perform. Like, there is some captive government like Pakistan, where China actually is like, pressurizing. So Pakistan is acting, the prime minister's president is acting based on the China influence, acting under the influence. If it is Asan, which is the second step, the king maintains harmony. It's a good one. The king maintains the harmony and control the nation, and through learned scholar, top officials of his ministry. That means he used democracy, he used diplomacy to keep all the praja very happy. So this is Ashan. Patta we have already discussed. Wherever he has left, from there he will again continue and he will moves on. So it's a good placement, the best placement. As you see, the Sun Nakshatra and the Jupiter Nakshatra falls in Patta. So it's a best placement. Then come the Simha, the fourth layer. Simha is basically the moon and the Rahu. It is like powerful like a lion. So if the moon, if the Abhisheka is taken place in this particular section, what will happen is the king will be acting as a very powerful person. He will be a warmonger. He will be, trying to take other territories. Like, they will be like, he will not listen to his ministry, he will not listen to allies. It is kind of a dictatorship kind of a government that can happen. And Simhasan, the final layer, which is controlled by only Mars, it is said in Narpata Sharia that he will be powerful, fickle-minded, huge, megalomaniac, angry, and punitive nature. So he will be giving punishes to his, very cruel type of a leader. That kind of a leader can form if the moon falls in the Simhasana. So whoever has made this particular mundane chart for Sri Narendra Modi ji is definitely a very big Pandit, and he has considered the particular Abhisheka Nakshatra for Narendra Modi, as well as he has also considered the Patta Nadi for this particular placement. However, this chart has a mistake because the Tithi is Rikta Tithi and 7th I have already explained. So those are the part of the package. But overall, we have to see the chart in totality. If you see as per the weightage thing, it's like 75% done to strengthen the government. That's a very honest effort by the Jyotish team who has done this particular chart. So this is about moon, what we have understood. Now we have to understand the problem statement. Wherever is Saturn is placed, it is a place basically, like it is the section uh, which will highlight the problem which the king will face in the next 5 years. So in our case, we are seeing that the Saturn has fallen Purva Bhadrapada. You see in the chart, Saturn is basically in the Purva Bhadrapada. So what does it mean? See, Purva Bhadrapada falls in the again in the Patta. So in Patta we have three planets. Jupiter we have Moon, we have Saturn. You see, Saturn, if it is there and it is mentioned the danger to the incumbent, danger to the successor or the prince. Actually, it is mentioned prince, but here there is no prince. So that means whoever will be succeeding Narendra Modi, that particular person will be having, will have to face problem also. There will be politics against him. Successor wise, there will be a big question mark. There will be a big doubt in the ministry regarding the successorship. Even it is mentioned lost of minister or ministry. That can also happen if Saturn is placed there. Now, as we see, Saturn is there in the fourth house. Saturn is there in the fourth house. The opposition is strong. The successor house is the fifth house, which is like the prince, or here in this case, successor. There is Rahu. And the competition, like the sixth lord, is also Mars, who is also strong, just like the Lagna lord. So that means the opposition factors, what we are seeing, are all very, very, very strong. And that will be a challenge which will come up in the next 5 years. Okay, now from where this problem will come, which part of the country this problem will come, that we have to understand. You see, the Ashwapati, the Ashwapati actually denotes, if this is India, the Ashwapati basically denotes this part. It starts from the west, north, till your northeast. This part. This is the Ashwapati. The Narapati actually starts from northeast and it goes up till the southeast, Agni Kona. Ishan Kona to Agni Kona, that part. And the Gajapati, it starts from the south and it goes up till the west. That's the Gajapati. Now, there is no central like Kurma Chakra. Why no central? Because king will increase his, if the border, it will diminish, the border will diminish, or it will geographical. So it is a horizontal expansion which happens. Now, so central is not considered here. So we have to see where Saturn is. We are saying that Saturn is basically in Purva Bhadrapada, which is falling in the Gajapati. Okay, so Gajapati is basically south. So the problem majorly will come from south. So the problem of this government will majorly come from south. This is the indication. So my friend, overall, this is a very good chart. And but one more thing I want to highlight, which I was studying and I have noticed. You see, for any particular oath-taking chart, just a moment. Back to natal chart. This is Narendra Modi's chart. For any natal, oath-taking chart, which is made actually as per the king. Here also, the Jyotish who has made this chart has made it as per the king, considering all whatever possibilities are possible. It's a brilliant chart, but with flaws. There are flaws, major flaws, like that is everything. There are two vital points which I want to tell you. See, Narendra Modi is basically currently is into the dasha of Mars. So, as per the rule, the Mahadasha lots to be strong, Sun and Moon to be strong. Now, Mars is basically Narendra Modiji's Marak lot, which we are seeing. So, that is one thing. Moreover, if you see in Narendra Modiji's chart, Ketu will be transiting over Saturn from 2025 onwards, and Saturn will be on Rahu from 2025 onwards, and Rahu will be on Jupiter from 2025 onwards. So during that 2025 middle to 2027, especially when Rahu and Ketu will be in the axis of Leo and Aquarius, it may not be a good time for Sri Narendra Modi Ji's. Usually it's said that when Ketu comes and sit over Saturn, there is a break of job. So here we are saying that there will be some professional challenges which can be a severe level, which may also and come. So that is what we are seeing. So, but nothing to be worried of, because as we see, the chart is very strong, and Narendra Modi Mars is also strong, and his Mahadasha is also Mars, and Mars is made the Lagna, which is very strong. So definitely, the Jyotish, from the Jyotishi point of view, has tried to provide all the support to the ministry so that a stable government can form. But as no Muhurtam is it is very hard to come with that but specific rare Muhurtam where everything is absolutely fine. So that is something which we have to see in the next 5 years. So, my friends, let's see and how the 5 years goes. I hope the Simhasana Chakra basics you have understood. It's just like where the moon is based well, but Saturn is not based well in the Patta, which is the sensitive part. And in the Patta, it can give some loss of ministership that we are seeing. And the south is a position from where the problem can come. And the it will be, as it is a coalition government, the demands from the coalition will be high and the opposition will be strong, but the Lagna is also strong and the Lagna Lord is also strong. So the fight will be there. But from 2025 to 2027, that particular 1.5 year, Modi ji might have to face some very big, some challenges, which he has to handle, very uh, sportingly. That is there. That can happen when Ketu transit over Venus and Saturn. So thank you, my friends. I hope everybody has understood the video. If any question, kindly put it in the comment box. Thank you.